So this person asks, it says, my son doesn't listen to me. I try my hardest to keep him out of trouble and on the right path, but I can never get through to him. How can I influence my kids' lives when they don't listen to me?
So do we happen to know how old that guy's son is? If not,
He's Squire age because this came from the Squire DMs.
okay.
So listen, context. This gentleman has been DMing me on the Squire account for almost 2 years now. And at first I was kind of like a softer approach. Hey man, show him some videos, let him know this is going to be awesome. He's going to learn from Navy SEALs, from Bedros Koulian, and this and that, whatever. That didn't work. But then I was like, you might just have to drag him kicking and screaming, bro. If you know this is good for him and he's been in trouble and he needs your help, you might have to just pull the dad card and say, hey, you're going. Sorry.
Yeah. Didn't
respond. So yeah, he's Squire age. I think he's maybe 15, 16.
All right. So I'm going to say that this kid is a replica of the dad. That's like, he's literally raising a replica of himself, because as a dad, and we just did an episode earlier, like as a parent, sometimes you're going to do things that make you feel like a horrible parent, because doing the right thing doesn't always feel good when your kids are like, I hate you, I don't like you, this sucks, and they slam the door behind their back when they go to their room. Mm-hmm. I'm still going to do the right thing anyway. I don't have to be my kids' friends all the time. I have to be the parent. Later on, they'll thank me for it. Now I've got a 19-year-old son and a 17-year-old daughter, and they're super awesome kids. And that's because we were hard on them when we needed to be, and we were fair when we needed to be, and we treated them like adults. And when they acted like children, they knew what the repercussion was. And so this dad who's been DMing you for 2 years about Squire, but isn't pulling the trigger to do it, and is constantly just, every time the kid acts up, then he goes, you know what, now's a good time for me to ask Leighton again, right? Ask the guys at Squire. Well, how about you actually proactively do something? So the best way to have a disciplined teenager is to start when they're exactly 0 years old. Give that kid love and attention. As they get 1 year old, challenge them, hold them by the fingers, teach them to start walking, right? Like you're starting to do with Apollo. And when they start reaching for things, no, 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 and yes, 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 and reinforce good behavior and let them know what bad behavior is. Like, no, 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 we're not doing that, son, daughter, and here's why. They may not understand the words. They're only 1 year old, 2 years old, but they will understand the feeling, the vibration. Like they know tonality, right? They know that when they do something good, you pick them up and you hug them, and you hold them close and you kiss them on their cheek, and the little endorphins go through them, versus when they just went to do something a third or fourth time to pick up a handful of dog kibbles and you're like, don't do that, son. Like, they can feel that energy. Right. And so because that dad didn't do any of that stuff, because that dad, and his argument might be, well, the wife spoiled. Listen, it was teamwork. And there's hills that I'm willing to die on. And so if my wife was spoiling the kids and the kids are like, yeah, but mom said I could do it, I'd be willing to die on that hill and be like, listen, woman, we can't raise a narcissistic, lazy liability of a son. So is there a reason that you're spoiling him? Well, I want him to like me. I don't want him to be mad. I hate when he stays in his room for hours and sulks. Guess what? We're going to have to do that. Like, I'm willing to die on that hill and go to battle with the spouse, because I'm raising a human that's going to be someone else's husband one day, someone else's father, right? Maybe a potential leader in a workplace, in a business. And so that dad missed out on the opportunity the previous 13, 14 years. And today it's obvious, here he is, 2 years knocking on our door. Hey, I think I need to do the Squire with my kid. Well, fucking pull the trigger and do it. Right. And if you don't, you're literally raising a lazy person who just procrastinates, which is probably a lot like he is. Guys, quick interruption to the show. Let me tell you all about the Trulian Wellness Shot. If you're like me and you care about your health, hydration, and building a strong immune system so you can stay active and you can get after it in life, then you want to try the Trulian Wellness Shot. I used to take 11 different supplements in the morning, things like vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin B12, echinacea, ginger, and a whole bunch more. Now it's all included in the Trulian Wellness Shot. I want to send you a 30-day supply for 50% off. Just go to Trulian.com, use the code word BEDROS, my name, to get 50% off. You'll also get free shipping. You get a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee, and $1 of every order goes to Shriners Children's Hospital. And when you use the code word BEDROS and do the subscribe and save, which is a Trulian Tribe program, every month you'll get a fresh supply of Trulian Wellness Shots for an additional 20% off and free shipping, and $1 of every monthly order will go to Shriners Children's Hospital. So go to Trulian.com, use code word BEDROS, and take advantage of this amazing offer. Now back to the show.
What would you say, because I want to ask this question because I know that a good a part of your demographic that watches your show is between 24 and 34. So a lot of them are maybe young parents that they have 2, 3, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, whatever, and they're going through that right now. So to prevent them from getting to that teenager that's already, he's not set in his ways quite yet. He's still young, but it is a lot harder than somebody who is a toddler. What advice do you give to them when it comes to like maybe like you say one thing that you have to be is consistency, it's discipline. It's what are some things that come to mind that they can kind of, basically deter that from happening when he becomes a teenager?
Yeah. So thing number one, if you've got toddlers anywhere from 2 to let's say 6, 7 years old, right? If you got toddlers, because that's the kind of age group that we are speaking to, one, you and your spouse need to be on board, like reading off the same playbook, same page, same paragraph, same sentence. In other words, what is our goal for our daughter and our son? How do we want to raise him or her, right? Do we want them to be respectful? Do we want them to be savages and servants? Do we want them to be great speakers? Do we want them to have musical talent and athletic talent and mathematical and historical talent and abilities, right? If so, then expose them to books, expose them to music, expose them to sports. And then if they don't go, like one thing I told Andrew when he was small, hey buddy, what do you want to do? You want to do soccer? Great. Oh, look at that. We're 5 weeks into soccer and you're a goalie. That's a lot of pressure. You don't like it. You want to quit. Remember what we said. You could do any sport you want, but now you have to stay the full season. We don't quit. We always finish what we start. Today, he's that kid. He's that kid. He always, that's something, a non-negotiable that we created for our kids because we knew that we didn't want them to be quitters. And so, hey, Chloe, you want to play music? Great, but you're going to have to go through 6 months. We're paying for 6 months up front. You're going to have to go through 6 months. You can't 3 months in go, I don't want to do piano or guitar or whatever anymore. And so you have to be able to build structure. You have to be on the same page with your spouse on what the outcome is of that kid. You have to be willing to not be liked by your kid all the time. And you have to be consistent in the way you discipline your kid. The number one thing kids want is structure and consistency. If you can give them structure and consistency, discipline will be a byproduct of that as long as you and your spouse are on the same page in terms of how you want them to grow up.